nobody looked back far enough to find it. So what we've done, as I say, going along, is we've given it to people whose papers from the veteran says that they have 100% disability. My recommendation is we leave it the same. You know, it's a nice thing to do, certainly for the veterans with 100% disability. If we try to reduce it to lesser amounts of disability, we start creating a real mess. And
Half the park is veterans.
yeah, we got a lot of veterans, and you know, I broke a fingernail in ROTC in college, so I don't know if I qualify, but anyway, so that's what the situation is. I don't know if we want to or can take a vote on it. We had said the annual meeting because we thought the members should decide it at the time, so I don't know if it should be postponed. I think anybody who's got 100% who moves in, we're not going to go and advertise it, but if somebody has 100% disability and comes to the park manager and gives the proper paperwork, my feeling is, yeah, you know, you do it. But it may be something that, you know, that should be voted on by the members at the annual meeting. But in the meantime, if somebody does have 100%, we could just continue doing what we've been doing. That's my feeling. So whatever anybody else feels.
Okay.
I actually think it should go to the members also at the next annual or at the next members meeting. But until then, I think we should say the status quo of 100% disability.
The reason I asked Brenda to put this on here, there's a veteran in the park, and he moved in right around the time that we purchased the park, and he was not aware of the discount that was being given until he received the notice a couple weeks ago in regards to the rent reduction, where it indicated the veterans a discount on it at that point. And when they came down and asked about it, I don't know what actually took place up in the office. He did bring in paperwork, and it's the same paperwork that he uses no matter where he goes. He takes it to the town hall, he shows it to them, they're telling me they write off his excise tax. I don't know. So, but my question is this guy, this resident, has 3 Purple Hearts, 1 Bronze Star. He was injured, and I've got a book sitting on my kitchen table at home on a day, if anybody in the audience is familiar with Vietnam and sees a case on, his name is on that list of being there on the 25th of February 1968, where he led a patrol out. So we know he was a combat veteran. And all I'm saying is, yeah, okay, 100%, I don't know exactly how whether he's got an 80% and then a 20, it's 100% in my book. But my thought is, he is a combat veteran and deserves a discount.
Anybody else?
Yeah, hold on, George. I sympathize. I myself was in the Coast Guard. So the problem with this is we have to find a way to establish some sort of an equilibrium where we have a cutoff. We can't discriminate against one. I agree, and thank you for Purple Hearts and all the medals that they have. However, we have to be fair to everybody in the park. And if we say that somebody is not necessarily 100%, but he was in Nam and he's got Purple Hearts and he's whatever, but the guy next door wasn't in Nam, he was on a ship somewhere as a ship's barber, but he considers himself a disabled vet also. So where is the cutoff that we're going to establish?
Well,
I think we have to have some sort of paperwork or some sort of line in the sand, Jerry.
I don't think it's just the person themselves considering themselves a disabled vet. Obviously, they have to have paperwork. If he's got paperwork that the state accepts and the local town accepts as 100% disabled, who are we to question the state? And have any of us seen the paperwork?
Yeah, and I agree with that. If he's got paperwork, I agree with that.
That's what I mean. He goes to the state, to the town. They waive real estate tax, which here we don't pay. They waive excise tax because they're 100% disabled. But again, I asked earlier if I haven't seen the paperwork that they brought to the office. So I think before we say yay or nay, I mean, they obviously have to have paperwork. They can't just come in and say, I'm a vet, but.
I think what happened here is, I think the park manager, and, you know, with what she was asked to do, is to ask them if they go back to the VA and get something that states, I've got 100% disability, okay? And if, you
But
know,
again, if the paperwork they brought in here, they can take, that the state accepts, that the town, I mean, they're waiving an excise tax, which I think is a little bit more than $9 a month. I don't know. I mean,
I don't, because I don't know what the town accepts or what.
yeah, I haven't
I
looked
have
at the
no idea.
paperwork, so I guess
Yeah.
before, like I said, we would have to see what the paperwork is to determine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think, all in all, most of us veterans all look up and see what's going on. I agree with Jerry. I feel that if any vet comes in here, shows us DD 214 and the paperwork from the VA saying that he is 100% DAV, then I think he should be entitled to the break. Another thing that do I feel that others should get it? Yes, I do. But it's like Noel and Lola says, I don't think the board can come forth and say, okay, somebody with 75% is entitled. This is going to be up to the people. And I think at the next residents' meeting, it should be brought up, and the board should get together and decide, okay, we're going to do a 75 or we're going to do a 50. I think 75% DAV would be a big help. $9 don't sound like much, but it's like anything else. You take your rent, you dropped it by 10, that makes a big difference there. So $9 does help some of these vets.
So, George, can I ask you, I've never seen the paperwork, I don't know what it looks like. Is it broken down into like, so that it could be, you could be 80 for this and 20 for that, so you're technically 100?
Yes, it can.
Okay.
Okay,
So we would accept
Anybody
that as
that's-
100% disabled?
if it's 100% DAV, it's going to say 100%.
Okay.
Or if it doesn't say that, they can total up to 100%,
That's what I mean.
but it's not 100% DAV.
Okay.
You know, some of them can get,
Is
they,
Paula, can I ask you, I'm sorry, I didn't,
There were two different residents that came in with paperwork, and they were being paid 100% check because they were, one was considered homebound and unable to be employed. But
Okay.
they were considered to be 90% disabled. The other gentleman was at 80% disability, okay? But they were both receiving 100% check from that. But
Okay.
one was at 80 and one was at 90%.
did they leave copies of their paperwork by any
One-
chance?
One person I do have, yes. You know, I could ask them if it
Okay.
was okay to show the board.
but they will have the paperwork from the VA that states what their percentage is and what it's, if it's prostate or whatever, blood pressure, or whatever, it's gonna state right on there. So as long as they come in here and show Paula that the paperwork says, even if it's a copy, and Paula could keep a copy of it and bring it to Noel or the board to us to verify it.
So based on what Paula just described in the paperwork, because again, I haven't seen it, you seeing not those particular forms, but forms.
I've seen my own.
No, but that's what I mean. So would you say, based on those forms, they would get our discount or they wouldn't?
Well, this is what's gonna happen. Right now, it says 100%.
No, they
DAV.
get,
That's what it says. That's what we originally started, Piper started with.
yes, yes.
Was 100%.
Yes.
So what we have to do is at the next
Yeah, at the
residents'
next meeting. But what I'm saying is, so based on the paperwork that Paula just said, they wouldn't
We
qualify,
wouldn't
is what you're
qualify
saying.
right now.
Okay.
I feel 75% is more than enough.
But again, I say, if it's good enough for the state, and you know, we're in Massachusetts,
Well,
so
he's
they don't give
mostly-
anybody anything.
Yeah, but it's most likely 100%, because if he goes into the town and shows that paperwork, it's 100%.
Okay.
They don't give you any credit for anything under.
I have a question. Can we draw the line in the sand that if he says he's getting 100% disability check? I mean, if somebody comes,
Yeah.
if one of our veterans comes in and says they're getting 100% disability check, I mean, rather than us seeing paperwork for 80/20, 90/10, 60/40, whatever.
Yeah.
Can we say that our line in the sand is if you're receiving 100% disability check, then you qualify? Can we do that?
I mean, it could be done, but I think if he brings it in and shows a copy that he's 100%, we should push it through.
It just leaves us with a better feel for whether he is or whether he isn't. And the state said he gets a
But then-
100% disability check, he's 100% disabled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one of the, we don't have to make a determination, and we don't have to even go to the members for that, because that's what we've accepted before, 100% disability.
Yeah. See, but when it comes down to it, half of us, we don't have a check. It goes directly to the bank or whoever they
Yeah, but
want
you
it.
must have something that says you get
But
100% disability
That's what I say.
check.
As
Yeah.
soon as you go to the VA system, you walk through that VA system, and they judge you, and they give you a percentage. The paperwork will come back from the VA saying you're 100% DAV. Or down the line, they could start you off at 100, they can drop you back down. And that's the hard part about it. But I think if they can come in there and say, there's my paper saying that I am 100% DAV, we should look at it and say yes. And hopefully, by that next meeting that we have for residents, they can decide on
Well, yeah.
a lower percentage.
Yeah, if we're going to do a lower percentage. Okay, so do we need a motion? Is it going to stay status quo, 100% disabled?
That's what it is
They
now,
come in,
right?
that's what it is, that's what it is. So
I think what we can do, though, is put it on the agenda
for the annual
next-
meeting, or,
the next members' residence meeting or whatever, to see if we want to lower that at all.
okay.
I think we leave it as it is right now.
Yeah,
Like Lola said, they put it in the agenda, members want to reduce it,
yeah.
that's their decision.
Okay. We're good with that? All right, so now it's the park manager's report.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's below. Truck plan.
Okay, can you hear me?
I think you just have to get a little closer to that mic.
Okay. Larry Page cleaned 12 filters out, and he gave a recommendation that we should replace a vent and a few risers. He's also going to look into the possibility of moving a distribution box and checking a pipe to see if there's a sag in it. Bowl deck pumped out 21 septic systems. Truex cleared 11 catch basins, and 3 bids were received for a home clean out. And that is all I have. Mosquitoes, once a week, I fax to the Board of Health, and that was done today. So I make sure that it's done by midweek at least, so they'll have it done by the weekend where more people, have parties and whatnot, sit out at the pavilion. Okay, so it has to be faxed. You cannot call them.
Do we know if they've been in here at all?
Yes.
And are they just doing here, or did they do
No,
the
I
whole?
gave them a list of every street.
Okay,
So I send the same thing week after week with all
Yeah.
of the streets.
yeah, because they're brutal this year.
All right, motion to accept the property manager's report.
There's a motion on the floor to accept the property manager's report by Lola, seconded by Noel. Any discussion? All in favor?
When you went to the bid,
They are down under new business.
okay.
Unless you want, it doesn't matter.
What you just mentioned, that's why I asked. No, let me get it.
I just stated it.
No, that's fine.
Yes.
It was.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so we have committee reports. We have an operations report. I don't believe I have a copy of that.
I will give this to, it is on. Hello? I will give this to Lynn, and he will make copies to make sure everybody gets a copy of it. I just want to take a moment here because I did not have time to go to the transition meeting. I hadn't even finished my secretary's reports by that time. I do want to thank the board. It has been a pleasure working with you as secretary. I know it's a thankless job, but for 2 years I've seen how hard you've worked. I really, really appreciate you. I appreciate the work that you've done, and thank you, thank you, thank you. Brenda, I wish you all the luck in the world. Charlie as well.